What's up, you all? And as requested, best live vocals female artist. Let's get right on it. The brightness on her highs is the fact that she was sick. I remember this. I remember this years ago. She was sick as a dog, and that has to be the best performance of that song that I've ever heard. I mean, that woman is the most consistent. One of the most, if not the most consistent. I promise you, her technique is inhuman. Ridiculous. The power, the agility, the brightness of her highs, the power. I mean, she really did, grab that song by the throat and choke it. Sings the lead. I remember this too. Ooh, the resonance. You bet. See, that ain't nothing but legendary. That wasn't nothing but legendary. It was that right there. That's the one performance I would need to hear from her if I'd never heard her before, to think and to believe that she was one of the greatest vocalists in history. The power, the agility there, the control of her instrument, the resonance. That right there, one of the most resonant notes I've ever heard, point blank, period. It's an inhuman amount of resonance. It makes no sense. The clarity makes no sense. The brightness, the potency makes no sense. The amount of time that note was sustained makes no sense. Period. Again, that right there, to me, when she was in her prime years, her biggest, she was easily one of the greatest vocalists of pop too. She's still one of the greatest vocalists of pop. I mean, don't get it twisted now, but I mean, she was just absolute, and still is. I remember a performance from I Am a Singer. She had like a resurgence there in that song, and she sounded better than I've ever heard. Just so much more refined, and just but here, her range here was incredible. She was always one of the most agile women, you know, in the industry. So that's not new to me at all. But the range and the brightness and the growls and the roars, and the sustained high belt, the power and resonance and fullness of that, amazing. Sing. Ooh, I like that descent there. Sustain. Gee, sustain, Jennifer. Look, like I said, first of all, the audio quality was not nearly as good as the ones that came before it. I'm just gonna say that it wasn't nearly as popped or as loud. I don't know why it's so compressed, but still, vocally, listen. We all know she is one of the, just when it comes to pure volume and power, she is one of the greatest to ever do it. Just the pure projection is just absurd. The power in her highs, and such ease and such skill up there in her highs, and even the phrasing it up there, and sustaining the amount of time she sustained that one super high note, and it was a run. It just kept going and going and going and going. She is one of the singers who has, I believe, progressed when it comes to skill the most. Because she started, you know, she was always incredible, don't get me wrong, but it could get kind of pitchy when she goes extremely high, and she just didn't have the stamina and the control that she has now. She has evolved, and she is just ridiculous. Come on. You better. Come on. You better. Come on, transition melisma. So bright in the highs. You better growl. I mean, it's the brightness for me. I feel like I repeat myself, but see, these are some of the greatest performances of theirs, and I find myself repeating myself, but I guess there's a formula to being amongst the greatest group. The power, the highs, the brightness up there, so youthful and so like girlish. I always say this about Mariah, so bright and just innocent sounding up there, but when she sustained that powerful high belt and then put the growl right in the middle of that sucker and continued and cleared it out at the end. Come on, man. Come on. The skill there. And it's just back to back to back to back super high. What are these? Are these F5s around there? Sounds like around F5s that she's just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. Like it's nothing. The stamina required to do that. The control up in the higher, again, I feel like I repeat myself with these people, but they are definitely, similar variables to being the greatest. And that's just what it is. The agility she displayed, perfect. Not a note out of place. It was fire. The tone was caressing and smooth. To say. It's the transition. There was no break. Oh, this is a whole other song. Have I heard this one? Operatic full head voice. Come on. The goosebumps. Vibrato, the tone. Sustain the stamina. Look how fine as she can be. Ooh, the resonance there. Oh my God. See, y'all gonna think I'm biased, but that to me took it from me so far. It's only about, everything about it. The resonance, the tone, the fullness of her voice. The resonance though, in these sustained belts. Especially was it that one in the, I think it was a Fine when she sustained it forever and a day. When I tell you the goosebumps hit me like a Mack truck, when I tell you that that perfect amount of darkness in her tone hit me, whew, the depth of that note right there was that's one of the greatest notes I've ever heard. It is, and I ain't ashamed to say it. It's one of the greatest notes I've ever heard. One of the greatest sustained notes I have ever heard. It was so rich and so resonant and powerful, not too forced. Not in no way was it the opposite of force. Weak in no way. Whitney don't know weak, but it was that perfect amount of force, perfect amount of airflow. And the notes, sustained notes after it were just, and the transition she did before the big dramatic climax that knocked me out. The transition, one of the ones, I believe, is the first one she did. It was perfectly seamless. There was no break, none whatsoever. Excuse me. It was just perfect. It just flowed up into her head voice, like in her head voice in general, operatic. The tone gets even more beautiful if it's possible. Warm, full,
The waste of my time looking for the critics because they're everywhere. They don't like my jeans, they don't get my hair. Exchange yourself.
Is this really the best from her? I don't think so.
Why do I do that? Why do we do that?
What is this?
Yeah.
Okay. She's singing,
You're
but
perfect. Oh, you're perfect.
sing. Come on. Come on. Okay.
Pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me.
She ate that. I spoke a little bit too soon. I admit, but I still don't know if that would be her best ever. Maybe it's because after what I just listened to, but the high notes were ridiculous. I love the natural distortion. She always has that sort of raspy quality to her tone in general. I love that. It's very rock star. She always just puts me in a rock star state of mind. And I love her little runs and riffs there too. Great control, great power. Again, love the distortion and the rasp of her tone naturally. And I love that it's acoustic. I can really see. I've reacted to it before, but what she was on there was different. She was feeling that. The way she was pushing, and I hear the way she pushed. You can sort of hear the slightest bit of tension. But in this case, it was good because it sounded incredible. You could tell she was pushing. She was feeling that joint. She was feeling it. What is that very top note she hit? I mean, the power, and again, I sound like I repeat myself, but the power and the brightness of the note, and just how poignant it was, and all of this, the stamina and the breath support to sustain these notes so high, and even her little ad-libs. I don't think she has particularly the most agile voice in the world, but her ad-libs here, perfection. The way she incorporates them, and you know, she places them. Perfect ornamentations for the song, but mainly just the interpretive ability, her ability to just the way she was. There's something about it that gave me goosebumps too, and it was just about near on the jump on the very beginning of the video. She didn't even do the crazy stuff yet, and got goosebumps. It's something. She's like has conviction during this performance for whatever reason, and she absolutely bodied it. This song itself, the lyrics are so powerful. It's like about, what is it about? Is it Celie finding her power? It's about finding your power. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Celie. But man, it's something about it that makes you want to root for the person singing this song. And man, a powerful vocal. And the conviction she has here, like I said, I mean, it's unlike anything else I've heard from her singing. And obviously she can blow out. Like I said, I react to her, but something special about that, man. Anyway, let me know what you all think, who you thought was the best in these clips. Thank you all for liking and subscribing. Let's do more favorites. Peace.